Awesome. Okay, so we're back. I'm so excited to be back. So we're talking about Bitcoin. Lots going on with Bitcoin. So the big thing that's going on with Bitcoin. So I mean, there's so much to cover. Okay, so obviously went to 67,000, which was a huge deal, and it got a lot of people's attention. And it definitely just means one thing. When I see that Bitcoin went to 67,000, it just means one thing. It means that the bull run's going to continue, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. And then what we've been talking about on the channel. So I was saying that November was going to be a good month for Bitcoin, and we've already shown that it's going to be a good month for Bitcoin, because we had that monthly candle close. So let's pull that up really quick. But yeah, so we just recently, like, the big news. I haven't been on here in a minute. I've been having trouble recording videos just because my equipment hasn't been the best. But I'm back on here. But before I left, I said, hey, November is going to be a big month. That was one of the things. If you go back and you watch my video, I said it's going to be a huge month. And the reason I was saying it was going to be such a big month, and the reason a lot of YouTubers saying it was going to be a big month, was because you have this massive bullish engulfing candlestick on the monthly chart. So you have this candlestick, and it entirely engulfs this candlestick, very bullish, lots of buying pressure on the monthly chart. So yeah, we just had this monthly close, and then we shot all the way up to earlier today. We hit 64, and then we retraced, and I want to talk about that. I did open some small positions. I was talking about that on my trading group, and what I'm looking at in the short term, medium to short term, just relevant enough to talk. We're not talking about the 15-minute, but let's see, zoom it out. This falling wedge that I've been talking about for a long time, I've posted it a few times on my trading group, and I actually traded it. And it's a really nice falling wedge. It's interesting that it tested it so many times, but it tested it, broke above it, and made a higher high. So it's looking really good, and a lot of the support right here is underneath it. So this is what I'm looking at in the short term, and when we measure it, and we'll measure it in a second, we can see that this hasn't fully played out yet. So in the immediate short term, there's definitely room for more growth. The only deal right now, and why we haven't shot up, is most likely because we have a bearish divergence on the RSI. That tends to be what happens. Okay, so you measure the wedge, and it's about 9%. It's about 9%. So you measure this part right here, and then after you measure that part, you go to where it broke out. So it broke out like right about here, and breaking out right there at about 9%. You're looking at like, why does it say 55,000? But I guess it's over here is where it really matters. 66,612. So that's nice. So we should see some more upside in the short term. The reason, like I said, that we're not is because usually what happens is when we go on these rallies, we rally really quickly, and then we can't keep the momentum. So let's see, indicators, pull up the RSI. Relative Strength Index. And we'll look at Market Cipher. A lot of guys that are newer don't really know about Market Cipher. I don't chill Market Cipher. In fact, I don't think people should get it because it's so ridiculously expensive. But this is a really, really good software for trading. And on the 4 hour, it's showing a dot right here. But there's a lot of momentum. So that's the thing that's really cool about this indicator, is it shows the momentum. And when you have a massive amount of momentum like this, you usually see a continuation to the upside. And we have this massive momentum shifting to the upside. But that's enough of Market Cipher right now. I'm going to be looking at the RSI. Okay, so with the RSI, what you want to see is you want to continue to see it trending upwards. So it's trending upwards, and it doesn't look like there's a divergence on the 4 hour. Right here, it's looking good. Oh, and it actually did break. So we might just be cooling off right now because it looks really good on the charts. You have this high, and then the RSI set a higher high right when we set this. So yeah, it's looking really good. So at this point, what I would do is I'd pull out a Fibonacci retracement tool. So I go 4 hour, pull out this Fibonacci. And really the level that we're looking at right here on this pattern is the swing low to swing high right here. And it looks like it hasn't even hit this Fibonacci level. So we could potentially pull back to as far as 62. And that's not a big deal. Pull back to around 62. And then from there we'll blast off is what it looks like. But yeah, this is a very, very, very small pullback that we have right here. So it's just cooling off a little bit. But you gotta look at the technicals. The technicals are saying we just set a higher high. We just broke out of this falling wedge, and we don't have bearish RSI divergence, which we almost always tend to have because we can't keep the momentum. But this momentum looks really strong, and the only thing that would make it more bullish is if it set a higher high. So you go to horizontal level, go put to that level right here, you switch the color. And you could put a trade alert on it or whatever, but it's at 65.5 on the 4 hour. That's really what I'm looking at. And if we set a higher high on there, that's just going to be even more bullish. But it's looking good. Although you don't have a lower high yet. I mean, you do in this aspect, but it's definitely just broke out of this consolidation pattern and is looking to move higher. And it moved up really fast. So what Plan B was talking about is he was saying, let's take a look at ADA Cardano, because I think that might be the most undervalued cryptocurrency for the money is probably ADA or Cardano for sure. But Plan B was like saying that in November he thinks Bitcoin could go as high as at the bare minimum 98,000 by the end of November. So I've been looking at Cardano and it's just been trending in this range. And so I put up a Fibonacci just to look at it, but this could possibly be the most undervalued coin in the entire space right now. It just continues to trend sideways. So what's my play on it? What am I doing with Cardano right now? Because I think it might be the best undervalued coin. And you guys know on the channel I got into this coin at 10 cents. So you know I'm not like somebody that's just shilling this thing. And now it's at 2 whatever. I'm staking it right now. I like ADA, so Alpha Delta Alpha, and then Light, so ADA Light.io. So Light's what is it? Lima India Tango Echo, and then .io, so India Oscar. That's what I'm looking at. So I stake my ADA. So right now when it's consolidating like this, I'm just earning 5% interest for having it staked in the native token, which is nice because you're not getting it staked in USD value. So I'm constantly building up my Cardano portfolio with Cardano. So ADA's Cardano. And so then I'm expecting it to at least do $5 this cycle at the absolute bare minimum. If that's the case, then that 5% that I'm earning right now, that's I'm playing this move with, I don't know how much longer it's going to consolidate, but I don't see it going to $5 until this alt season starts running. I'm not planning on moving it right now. If anything, I'm looking at typically. It wouldn't surprise me to see a Bitcoin move to around 74,000 in the next like 15 days. At that point, what I'm looking at is potentially selling some Bitcoin. I think that's going to be outperforming the market moving fast. And all the alts are going to be down, kind of like what we're seeing right now. Not a lot of price action. And then potentially once Ethereum starts to follow, because Ethereum usually follows next and outperforms Bitcoin, that's when I would be looking to take some profits potentially on Ethereum. And then later on in the cycle, when we have the alt season, Bitcoin starts looking underperforming, whatever, starts going sideways, kind of like Cardano does. People get bored of it. Then I'm going to be looking at getting into selling some of my Cardano. But right now, I'm chilling. It's staking. I'm probably going to be selling it off in December or maybe Q1 of next year from what it's looking like. So yeah, like I said, ADA.io and what ADA Lite.io, and like I said, what I like about it is that it pays you out in the native token. It doesn't pay you out in US dollars. So like let's say my prediction comes right, and we hit $5 or $6. That 5% interest that I'm getting is paid out in Cardano, so that's gonna 3x, and it's actually gonna be like 15% interest that I'm getting paid out. If you look at dollar per dollar, my ROI, as opposed to if it was paid out in USD, I would just get that 5% right off the bat, and then as Cardano is continuing to perform, I wouldn't get that gain unless you were to buy Cardano, but then usually you have to pay a fee with it. Anyways, that's just my 2 satoshis on what I'm doing right now with Cardano. There's not a lot of other big plays right now. A lot of people are looking at XRP, but I just want to give you guys a quick update on Bitcoin. There's not too much to look at on Bitcoin. The other thing, what I usually do is, so you have your measured move, obviously, and then let's go back to the weekly chart and check up on the weekly chart. Because like I told you guys before, on the weekly chart, I see a double bottom. So you can kind of see these 2 blue areas right here. So this blue and then this blue. So a couple of things to note on this pattern right here. The first thing is this is a low. So I'm going to draw it as a low. So that right there is a low. That's an L. And then this right here is a higher low. I have no idea. There's no way I drew it like that. That's supposed to be an H. It's supposed to be a higher low. Anyways, you got a low and you got a higher low. Right here you have a high. So this is the high of this area right here. And then this is a higher high, and this is a higher high. So this is a textbook example of an uptrend. So that's one thing to take note of. In this textbook example of an uptrend, you have this is what's called the neckline of a double bottom. So if you go on like Investopedia, or if you already know what a double bottom is, it's a trading pattern. It usually is traded in reversals, but either way, what it does is it shows continuation to the upside. And this right here has broken the neckline. So basically what that means is this pattern's good to go. It's validated, and it's a nice double bottom because you have a low and you have a higher low. And what's even nicer is this pattern just broke above. I don't know if you heard, but the monthly close that we had was the highest monthly close in the history of Bitcoin. So that's a huge deal, and it validates that pattern. So it sets an even higher high on both the weekly or the monthly chart. Again, looking at this double bottom, we have a low, a higher low, so that's a big deal. And then we have a higher high on the monthly chart set right here. So it's an uptrend inside of a double bottom pattern, and the measured move for it. So the way you measure a double bottom, this trading pattern, to really figure out what's going on in the charts, we'll do this measurement. it's about 47-45%. So you take that from the neckline, then you put it up, and it puts you about $70,000-$80,000 from the neckline. So that's a big deal. So huge double bottom potentially playing out on the weekly charts. Like I said, I'm expecting Bitcoin to hit in the next 15 days. I'm expecting Bitcoin to hit around 74 to potentially an 80, something in the 80s. In the immediate short term, like I said, 66 is the measured move for that falling wedge that we went over originally in the video. It's not done. It looks good. The momentum's still there. It's just cooling off. People are taking profits, but everybody's basically in profits. It just pumps so quick, so fast, and we're just waiting for that next pump, which should be coming soon. And so then obviously, yeah, that's what we have. So 66 short term, 74 to 80 medium term is in 15 days, and then in the next month, as we go into December, I agree with Plan B. He's pretty accurate. He was off 3% last month, but he has an insane track record. If you don't know Plan B, you're probably new to the space. But he's saying that he thinks 98,000 by the end of November. So that's kind of my medium, short term, and long term predictions on what's going on with the price right now, based off of TA technical analysis. I'm gonna keep doing videos regularly, updating. I just had to get a new computer, so anyways, I'll be regularly updating again, so look forward to that.